I hope you're well. My name is Veliswa, and today I'd like to talk about the very important topic of our environment, the influence of our environment over our lives. Our environment influences us in ways that we cannot even imagine. There's so many parts of us that we probably believe are natural parts of our character. However, upon close inspection, we realize that these parts are natural parts of the character of our environment. And so today, I'd like to list a few points that I think we need to understand about the influence of our environment over our lives. But before we get on to that, please do the right things, like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more awesome content. Let's get into the influence of our environment. I was recently watching a talk by Jacque Fresco, who was talking about how our environment influences our behavior. If you were born in China, you probably speak Mandarin. You probably understand life according to the practices and customs of the Chinese culture. The Chinese culture is what you understand as being normal. This only changes when there's exposure to the outside, when there's an understanding that there are also other cultures. Only then are you able to compare and contrast what you understand about your culture and what is understood about other cultures. If, for example, you were born in the Amazon and you had never had any exposure to the internet, if I tried to speak to you about an iPhone, you wouldn't know what I am talking about, because nothing in your environment tells you anything about an iPhone. There is no existence of an iPhone in your environment. If, for example, you were born in a country where the head of state was a female, for you, a female in leadership is not something that is foreign. It is not something that is worth talking about. It is very normal to you because you were born into an environment where that was the norm. And so our environment influences what we understand as being normal, and therefore influences how we behave. The first point is scarcity and abundance. James Baldwin once said, "Anyone who has suffered from poverty knows how extremely expensive it is to be poor." I like to direct this quote to the expense of poverty on the mind. Poverty is a great expense on the mind. It takes up a great deal of the thought budget that the mind allows. It is going to be difficult for you to think of how to build a great empire when there's no bread in the kitchen and the electricity is threatening to go off. It's going to be extremely difficult. That environment is not exactly cheering you on to dream. It's not exactly inspiring free thought and debate in the mind. That environment is only inspiring you to seek a short-term solution for a problem that you have again tomorrow. That environment is not inspiring the mind to relax and let ideas flow. That environment is pressuring the mind to find ways to survive. What am I going to do today will be what plagues the mind, not dreams. When you come from an abundant environment, meaning that you come from an environment where all your needs are easily met, stressing about resources is the last thing on your mind, because there's plenty of them today and there'll be plenty of them tomorrow. Your mind has more time to relax and let ideas flow. Your mind has more time to dream and be inspired. When you live in an abundant environment, survival is not something that plagues your mind. Your mind has more time to dream and think of ways to develop your dreams. When access to water is not even something that you have to think about, then you understand the differences of what plagues the minds of people who come from environments that are abundant and those who come from environments that are full of scarcity. Scarce environments pressure the mind to think of survival. People who come from abundant environments don't have these pressures. And so you understand how their different environments influences the things that dominate their thoughts, that dominate their minds. The second point is your friends or your circle. Some say, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. Others say you're the sum total of the 5 people that you hang around with the most. Your friends influence your creativity, your ideas, your energy, as well as the quality of the advice that you receive. It's going to be difficult for you to know nothing about music if one of the people in your circle is a deep music lover, or even better, a DJ. It's going to be difficult for you to know nothing about the pressures of entrepreneurship when one of the people in your circle is an entrepreneur and they're forever talking about how pressured their time is and how they always have to be somewhere. It's going to be difficult for you to not know the importance of having a mentor if everyone in your circle seems to have a mentor, and every time you want to meet up, they say, "Unfortunately, I can't. I have a meeting with my mentor." It's going to be difficult for you to not want to come up with ideas on how to help yourself when it seems that all that is being discussed in your circle is ideas of how to help themselves. Your circle influences you a lot. It influences even the quality of information that you have access to. Sometimes you have an idea which you share with someone in your circle. Depending on the quality of your circle, someone might know how that idea can be developed further. Someone might have a contact or someone in their network who can actually help you build up your ideas. Your network is very important. We have a tendency to drift to where the people we are close to drift to. Your circle influences you greatly. Understanding what your circle is focused on and whether that focus is proving beneficial to them is very important. Because if you understand that whatever they're focusing on is helping them, then you might also want to be involved in whatever they're doing. Some people don't want to change their circle because they believe that this approach will make them look like they're not nice people. I think this approach is over-negotiating. Over-negotiating on your future. If you're a nice person, you'll continue to be a nice person no matter what. You do not need to sacrifice or over-negotiate your future to prove that you are a nice person. Don't over-negotiate your future just to prove that you're a nice person. When it's time to change, embrace the change. Marcus Aurelius says, "It has always amazed me how people love themselves more than everybody else. However, they value the opinion of everyone else more than their own." The third point is your living environment or your home. Albert Einstein once said, "I never teach my pupils. I simply provide conditions in which they can learn." What conditions is your home providing? Is your home a catalyst for learning? We have all walked into spaces that make us feel a certain way. For example, if you walk into a home that has lots of expensive ornaments and glassware, you immediately feel like you have to be careful. You can't afford to break anything that is in this house. We have all walked into a space where the lounge is centered around the television. Even if you're not a person who's overly interested in TV, the house is set up in a way that you must engage with the television. We've also walked into homes that have lots of books. Upon entering the house, you become curious on the types of books that the house has available. You become curious on whether you know anything about the books that are available or if any of them would be of great interest to you. So, how you design and set up your living environment determines so much. It determines so much about how you yourself engage with your environment and what your environment is encouraging you to do. So it's important to know that how your home is set up determines how people engage with your home, as well as how they engage with people living in your space. Is your living environment encouraging you to learn? What is your living environment encouraging you to do? The fourth point is media content. Media content also forms part of your environment. I'm sure we've all watched a sports movie where there's this great coach who's trying to revive a losing team so that they may qualify for a great championship. We all know that this team has different players and all these players are facing different problems in their personal lives. And the coach is trying to bring them together and believe in themselves so that they may win the championship. This is a classic David versus Goliath story where David is the underdog. We so deeply want David to win in the story Because there are also moments in our lives where we feel small, and we also wish to have the courage to take on our own personal giants. So we feel vested in the team. We want the team to win because it's going to give us a feeling that if the team wins, we can also win in our own personal lives. That is the power of content. Content has the ability to inspire you to take on your own giants, because you see that someone who felt like they were in the same position as you was able to do it. And then sometimes we watch a tragedy. In this movie, we are sold this amazing person who is good and kind to everyone. They are highly sacrificial and everyone loves them. One day, this great hero becomes ill, and we spend the whole movie stressing about whether this great hero will eventually be helped and cured. We anticipate, also waiting anxiously. We want the hero and the nice guy to survive. It makes us feel nice when good people win in the end as well. In this movie, we want the hero to live. It just seems fair. It seems fair that the good people win in the end. It becomes incredibly disappointing and painful to find out that in the end, the guy that we all liked, the guy who is highly sacrificial, dies. It just doesn't seem fair. He is a good and kind person who helped everyone. Why should he die? And we become so disappointed, and some of us even cry, myself included. But that is the power of content. It can either inspire you and make you feel like you're part of a team, or it can make you sad and make you feel like life is not fair. That is how powerful content is. And that is why it's so important that you also monitor the type of content that you allow in your space. That's how powerful the different environments are in our lives. Some environments are empowering. Some environments are disempowering and make us lose our faith in ourselves. I hope you also take the time to understand how important it is to measure and monitor the influence that the different environments have on you. Are the different environments helping you? Are your friends adding value to you? Is your home a catalyst for learning? Is the type of media that you're exposing yourself to inspiring you or demotivating you? What is your environment helping you do? And that's it. I thank you so much for your time. I really hope this video has added value to you. If you found value in this video, please do the right things, like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more awesome content. I am Scarcity and I thank you. Bye.